fragging power. And I think the upside to Mix is when you have that fragging power and the lack of tape that the likes of NEMIGA can watch, you can really surprise some teams. We saw that against Sangal earlier. For the likes of NEMIGA, though, you want to talk about structure. That team has been together core 4 for the last year and a half, Harry. They have got a lot of experience just playing with one another, knowing what the protocols are, knowing what each other do, which makes things scary for mixed teams like Mix that don't really rely on maybe the anti-stratting part or at least the counter qualities that the top flight of this game will require.
Yeah, both of these rosters have their fair share of experience playing against tier 1 teams.
Qëta pakkanti
Find themselves firmly within tier 2. I think it's a fair assessment to say for each of them. I can
pak e nis
do that into
ta
the
Mix.
project that you and I
Mezi me çfarë ekipi kishin me lu.
Before then, BNE, you're talking about a point in time for those players where they didn't have the most ridiculous organizational
flatru komelu sinopsi riguni oni
for them to perhaps put their name in a shop window
want si shikojmë një ankro.
or all 5 of
Akron,
them, depending on how far this ends up going. It's that kind of run that we've just got to be keeping our eyes upon, and regardless of the fact whether they're 114
qëta pak kom janë luja.
Top 50, top 25, NEMIGA are still probably going to be favorites here. I think it's just a little bit more time that they need to get.
Kam të lonë njerë qështu, se për shkak të jam live edhe në YouTube, të ma bojnë copyright-ën e nga. Kësa shkojnë që si kam direkt për ESL-it.
A change of their own though, with Soalio coming in and looking at the map veto here. Ryan, it's Ancient that we're going to be heading to.
Yeah, it makes sense for Mix. It's a map that they've played, I mean, in comparison to the others, a fair bit, but only at least recorded on HOTV in the last few months. It's one of those solid maps. Obviously, beforehand, with the 2 maps being picked by either side, Mirage first up is a big one for Mix. They played it against Sangal.
Unë veç jam të bojnë qëto stream height, veç me po. Edhe për juve, edhe për veti, edhe me metë si kujtim për YouTube sëmë. Këtë do një me këqyre kini në YouTube atë.
Maps that you don't necessarily need to have a book under lock and key to figure out, right? You then head to Dust 2, again, strong map for the likes of Mix, who, yes, have only played it a handful of times, but it is NEMIGA's home country, right? Yes, the win rate doesn't particularly reflect that, but you've got to look at the maps played, you've got to look at the quality of teams being played within the last 3 months on that as well. The likes of Vitality, Pain, Heroic, M80, 3D Max, Limvision are in there, Ents are in there, obviously, some seriously big names, Harry, that NEMIGA, even though the win rate doesn't show maybe the highest pedigree of success on the map, they are definitely confident enough to be playing it as one of their strong suits against the side they don't know much about.
For sure. And the DNA as well of these teams sort of, it makes sense when you see what maps that Mix would want to play into. Even Ancient left to the end there. That was a mainstay for BNE moving into, Guild Eagles, ITB, whatever the case may be. The fact that that project has now finished and run its course with the chapter closed means that there are new opportunities for them here, of course, with the Gamer Legion contingent in Volt and Rigon joining here. It's the old Into the Breach versus the new, in a sense. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it is that they play as a team.
And I've got to say, we get to watch over probably the player that gave out, at least in my opinion, one of the funniest bit of trash talk in the major just gone. Obviously, talking about Lear, the whole holding his nose, taxi leaving for the airport in a few minutes. It could be him, which those words are said to today. As I said just a moment ago, Harry, there's no easy way to put it other than the fact that there's 16 teams and only 1 slot. If you aren't ready to bite the bullet and face some of the best, then unfortunately there will be no Pro League for you. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to head to a quick break. A couple of issues before we jump into the action, but when we return, NEMIGA versus Mix on your screens. Don't go anywhere.
Feeding every night like Friday night. I keep the party on rock and the Bombay ice. Gotta see stars like Broadway lights. I told a baby girl, you don't gotta kick it with the daydreamers. You can skip the line, I'm the gatekeeper. Plus I got the crowd going keep it hype, we don't wanna hear no sad songs. Everybody up in here just wanna celebrate. Sip a little drink, get the dance on. That's all, listen, everything good over here. We don't want no problems, we just want cheers. Toast to the good life, wine, liquor, beer. Haters getting blocked if they trying to interfere. Swag on 100 and my drip too fresh. Certified stunner, need a big blue check. I don't got no time for no BS or no negative ideas in my vibe, cause I'm just too blessed. Run it back. When they see me show up, I be feeling glowed up. When they see me show up, I be feeling so, feeling so. When they see me show up, I be feeling glowed up. When they see me show up, I be feeling so, feeling so.
We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here.
Okay, we are back and we are in game. It's time for Mix against NEMIGA Gaming, with the latter starting on the CT side of Mirage. Their choice of side, of course, Mix's selection of the map. Kicking things off with a default to begin their pistol.
Yeah, just setting the feelers, seeing what's going on. More or less waiting for the move on Underground to kick in. Do believe it's Rig on faults. There is a jump out of the window. Can't, to be honest, lucky to be alive from that position, but will also go hounding, trying to get the blood from Connector instead. His body's dropped on short to kick things off. 2 in the feed for Mix. Finally a response from the USP from Spawn. Sawalio needs to hit a few though, and at least the numbers level.
Yeah, 24 hours or so in the side, already trying to make his mark in the server, but instead, it's 2 kills quickly rallied back. Synopsy. Mix just getting pushed forward as Santa's the last player left. The contact already taken. Crossfire prepared, and with that, Volt has claimed the round. Mix on the board first, strong pistol to start.
Yeah, very simple stuff. As I said, sort of waiting for the com push to come in. They knew that they wanted to crunch A. A little bit of resistance from Spawn. Sawalio putting a threat in the round, but quickly dismissed. A double from Volt and from Synopsy. It's a rifle-heavy investment heading into the second round. 4 AKs. It's a ballsy one, Harry, because 5, in fact. If, you know, you get dropped by the rogue pistol, obviously not invested, but quickly a rifle into the wrong hands, you know, a few AKs into the wrong hands, and automatically the CT side, incredibly, incredibly scary. But not to worry, the threat is from Ramp for the CT side. As for Mix, it's a walk through. They'll try and find some space from. Good shot from one Flatro. And now, pick of the poison. Do they want to go A or B?
Still have plenty of time to make that decision, of course, and as you saw, as much as there is the possibility that one of the guns is lost, and it is. Sawalio non-stop so far in this map. Still has to be retrieved, and those AKs can cut through the unarmored opponents lightning fast. Late dive being made with a minute left towards the risky Bob, not cleared, headshot, but no kill on A-Court, and Synopsy has managed to plug the gap. Make that transition between the sites just a little bit easier for them. As this one is not going to get out of control just yet. Synopsy with a belter. Xanta does finish off the damaged A-Core. And honestly, 3 guns surviving, not the worst, but also not the best.
No, exactly. That's the danger of buying those rifles. It's a heavy hit to your bank account when you do find yourself without a gun in round 3. Of course, they'll have 5 AKs back. They'll be with full utility, but you can see Volt's bank account drained. Synopsy the same. A-Core, 1 Flatro. You know, losing this, you look at a Mat 10's next round. It's not great. A mid-cross smoke and 1 towards window to kick things off. It seems to be that Vic's confident playing sort of a semi-structured default. Quite surprising. I expected maybe a little bit more of a puggy play style, you know, trying to burst in for early control like that classic B&E that we were used to. It's a methodical take towards middle. Dropping that window smoke, trying to push a player up con. Some resistance down there. Sawalio up to 4 kills in round number 3.
Does pay the price. Comes in the form of most HP though. We're still hanging on the edge of the smoke. Goes unpunished. So it's a double player advantage for NEMIGA. Looking at the bomb, it's still dropped outside of apartments, so Mix are far away from being able to fully commit to a site, although they haven't set their sights on A for the time being. 2 players through con. Trying to be the distraction from ramp. They're just going to run into the site. A-Core, triple kill, and all of a sudden it's game on. 2 on 2. Synopsy forced to retrieve precious cargo, and might just be considering wrapping around to the other site, as it's having quite the distraction. Finally felled his A-Core, 30 seconds, and still Synopsy no closer to a plant.
That's genius though. He threw a flash over mid, above ramp, so now they think, wait, he's just pop flashed himself, maybe Tetris, shallow on ramp. Look, they're still trying to clear, trying to gather the information. It's bought all the time needed for Synopsy to close the gap on B. The question is he going to prioritize the bomb, or is he going to look for a fight? Xanta's been very loud about this move. He's jumping in about the kitchen area. Now it's time for action. A-Core, a lot of the heavy lifting, but it's Synopsy to try and finish the job.
Didn't fall for the bait, and now has to play out the 1 versus 2. Holding on for a player jumping through the window, both in the market. First flash coming out, it's an early sign of utility. Synopsy yet to go down so far in this map, and to keep the flawless run going, he needs 2 more. Not looking the right way, Xanta dead and buried with Khan by his side. 3 not out, Mix continued.
I mean, plain and simple, Harry. 2 on 5, bomb left in spawn. A-Core's deep jungle. Synopsy nowhere to be seen. He's off to retrieve the C4 to try and loop it back into this round somehow. And they've walked away with a win. Ludicrous stuff. A team like NEMIGA, who have had recent experience at the top flight of Counter-Strike, should not be making simple mistakes like that. Economy crippled, hopes crushed as well for a way back into this game, and now the building blocks start to be put in place. It's confidence beaming from the side of Mix. It's a quick double from A-Court, leaves him at 6. He now takes the lead as he drops a 7th body. The Deegs and 5-7s can be a lethal combination. Not in this round, Risky Bob finding one, but A-Court wants all 5. He delivers on a silver platter. Force buy meets little resistance, or rather half buy. And Mix 4 for 4. Yes, their pick, but I didn't expect dominance out of the gates just quite like this.
Absolutely not, and from the de facto AWPer no less.
Yeah.
The Dane doing what has been asked of him quite handedly, finding his man, opening up these rounds. As you say, you know, we're just coming off the back of a 5 versus 3 as well, but that looking a lot more convincing from Mix. And to just speak to the history of this team again as well, Synopsy as the IGL here, picking up pieces that, you know, he was working with before in Rigon, and some new faces as well. A-Core being one of them, already proving his worth at the start of this. Timeout called by NEMIGA, got to pick themselves back up now. They chose to start on the stronger side, but for this next gun round, then maybe we get a look at what that really can be in full force. Sawalio with a rifle in hand, a scary prospect, but flashed off the first, and Juan Flatro taking 2.
Tried to meet fire with fire, Harry. And it's NEMIGA that get torched yet again. Look at the gap found by Rigon. He's out of Kitchen Khan. Oh, he's so unexpected of that. And now NEMIGA, last 2 players. I mean,
Save call.
it just has to be a pure save. You're right. There's no way you can try and see yourself into a retake here, which is more money in the pockets of Mix. It's a dangerous move. They overpopulate. They overflood that mid position. They leave B completely open for the taking. And it's Mix that bury yet another hatchet in this first map of Mirage. One Flatro clearing another head off another set of shoulders. It's just Xanta left in spawn. And if I'm Mix, I'm thinking about a hunt here. Yes, your money's not good, but, you know, if Mix's money's bad, NEMIGA's is going to be looking even worse. So, the cost of 1 rifle for the sake of removing the final M4, it might be an investment that Mix are willing to take. That they will. Rigon shot should be A4 to trade, and it will be 4 points of health left. But no rifles left, and even the AWP scoops up at the end of number 5.
Everyone on Mix is getting involved in these rounds, and this time it's Juan Flatro. For NEMIGA, they'll want to try and get back up on their feet, but that was the timeout, that was the investment, and the call made is a mid-push. Mix pretty effective in terms of their spacing so far. We get a slower look this time, just trying to gauge if the same kind of aggression is prepared. If NEMIGA want to continue trying to take map space, a round with only 1 rifle does feel like a good opportunity to gain some early ground, and that's exactly what Khan's already done. Found himself out ramp, and Lear's not too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, Volt's going to hear all of this, though, and you can see Mix a good head between the shoulders of Synopsy, of course, the caller of this team. He's saying, well, we face something really aggressive, and it's the first time we've really been challenged in the early round by NEMIGA. That's the most threatened we've felt. So we're just going to sit passive, let them make a move. They're going to feel like it's their best chance, so we'll take map control piece by piece. We'll try and pick apart this defense once again. Good start, rifle trucked over to Khan. He does find himself the trade, but left on 1 point of health. Tickled to death at this point will be anything. And there you have it, the HE lands meters away, but it's enough to take the M4 out of the situation. 1 Deagle, 1 5.7, 1 MP9. To try and etch in a first on the board. Mix incredible here on Mirage.
And I think you naturally would against the guns that NEMIGA have left. Xanta has managed to recover a rifle, AK in his hands, already 1 kill deep. Needs to find 3 more. It's just a player advantage, just 1-man advantage right now that Mix hold on to, but NEMIGA don't look as if they're going to give this one a go. Bob wrapping around to jungle side, now Con with Xanta. The AK should be saved here, the MP9 you can run into the ground. I suppose with Kevlar, it's probably worth holding on to.
Risky Bob's gone to lunge for the gunning Con.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's
no
not
chance.
managed to pick it up.
Needs to, I don't know, work
Stretch
on his
those arms out, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You were saying death by tickling. I mean, don't threaten me with a good time, but Mr. Tickle, you know, he had long arms. Maybe that's,
yeah, it's true.
That's what we're looking for. Right now, it's just a case of NEMIGA getting on the board. The AWP coming back out from Khan again. Second chance that he gets to show what he's made of. And it's straight into Palace, where he'll take the line. Some strong early information for NEMIGA that this is most likely a B hit. The question is, how quickly does it come in? It looks like a split through middle.
They're just going to wait for the contacts on short, figure out exactly what NEMIGA are up to in the early round. The flash comes in, the apps pop true to its word, Harry. They do go fast. There's a crossfire set between the jail position and the bench. It's an easy double. Xanta picks them up. Risky Bob, 1.5. Sawalio there to finish the job. And just Acor, 1 on 5. 2 kills already. We saw a 2v5 before. Acor is on a heater here on the start of Mirage. Now in this spot, I don't think you can count him out, even if you are on the side of NEMIGA.
Just got to show an ounce of composure here as Acor is giving away plenty of sound, reconfirming his position with every step and every scope, looking for an opportunity to drop into the site. But finally, that intermission that we had between the first 2 kills that made things look scary and the conclusion of the round is NEMIGA getting it on the board, getting it over the line and breaking the ice, because things were looking quite frosty.
No, definitely. Mix were on fire. Money good enough to rebuy everything. Interestingly enough, Acor, despite having nearly 10 grand in the account before starting round 8, opting for the rifle instead. I suppose probably want to be doing something a little faster. That's why he's opted away from the big green. On control, going to do something again for side. A missed mid-molly on Flacco using his smoke as a preemptive measure.
Oh no!
Measure not needed, nearly owns himself with the HE.
It's fine, right into the D stream. Juan Flatro makes up for it quickly. So there weren't any eyes on. Risky Bob loses his. Whoa, walking into the corner. Lear loses his life. Sawalio still hanging on to A, but Bob rapidly approaching on his left-hand side. Means that Khan has it all to do, and a quick double makes it look all the more likely. Volt in a clutch now this time.
Xanta blocked Khan on the jungle peak, hence why he took 65 damage. Volt with a lot to do. As a young man joined Fnatic Rising, praised as one of the better anchors, even Launders speaking volumes to his ability. The question is, with a little more maturity and a little more experience, can he step up? Put Mix back to winning ways. He's just sat behind default. They don't know what to do. Khan locked in on the angle, though. Volt tries to play contact off the drop of the smoke. And it's not going to be good enough to convert Mix their 7th. It's an OK and an awful forward. And NEMIGA will find themselves their 2nd. But again, critical damage being done. And another one of those rounds where, you know, you just take the first 30-second snippet and it's Mix that find themselves in an advantageous position. Yes, NEMIGA won the round, but they just cannot for the life of them find themselves in a spot where they feel advantageous heading into an execute or heading into a retake.
Definitely did very well to respond in that round. As Volt was placed into a difficult clutch, it's Acor with a difficult opener. Xanta the one that begins proceedings this time. And while Mix are without their ace on the rifle, as still 4 players strong. 3 of them in middle, still hunting out Xanta. Drop back to a deeper line of cover on short. Couple tags from the molly, which spreads at his feet. And a couple players sitting in con here, just spraying through the smoke. Risky getting another one. Rigon on the swivel, it's a nice highlight shot. But still a 4 versus 2 when the dust settles, and it doesn't feel any more winnable as the round drags on. Lear collecting another, and Volt with a less impressive clutch attempt than the last time.
This is the bargaining chip of CS2 that NEMIGA are bringing out, though. Like, you've only played a couple rounds. Yes, it's first to 13, but you've won a couple, you've reset that T-side economy, and what could have been, you know, a staggering half, you know, 9 threes, 10 twos. It was looking dominant for the Mix side. Now, the question in the air is, are Mix even going to find enough to take a lead heading into the second half, right? This could very easily end 6-6. I think realising that, their first tactical timeout being used, just discussing measures that need to be taken to ensure that this fantastic red-hot start isn't completely thrown away.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a hallmark of a great team to be able to respond when you lose that many rounds. We were looking at the potential of a guaranteed tied half, but at the very least, Mix giving themselves an advantage, one which now doesn't remain to be entirely out of the question, but they're going to have to roll their sleeves up and dig deep on this round especially. Juan Flatro is the one rifle to a selection of sidearms which are heading Khan's way. And that AWP is hungry. Oh, Volt just satiating that burst just a little bit, and all of a sudden it's a problem. Sawalio out in the open, he gets punished, and behind the wall of smokes, Bob goes down.
Volt on an AWP, it's quite an unorthodox spot to be in. Juan Flatro's rifle there to support. They do etch in a second NEMIGA, so opening the door to a possible retake. The question is, this big green, how effective can it be? Synopsis relying on Volt to hit his shot to ensure that he doesn't get taken out from sight. It's a good start. He's in the second player in stairs. He goes for the quick flick. It's caught between rock and a hard place, but nails it towards spawn. It is 4 in the round for Volt, 7 on the board for Mix. And forget what I was saying in the last freeze time, Harry. 6-6, forget that. Mix right back at it. Finger on the pulse once again here on the T side of Mirage. 2 Tech-9 kills and it all spirals well out of control. They lose the entirety of A. Retake up one hell of a mountain. And it just does not happen.
Yeah, Volt saying to Akor, you can thank me for the Dragon Lore. Let's not give me any more chances to show what I can do, or I'm going to be asking for it back. Everyone plays with the AWP and the sort of basic games. When you got to pick up the mantle, you do it, and it's almost over-delivered there with the money. This could end up 9-3 at this point in time if the NEMIGA aren't careful, and already you can see Mix putting on so much pressure towards A. In the meantime, Rigon detached from the back, trying to pick up the slack through middle and out connector, but still yet to be given that opportunity. His time in the server is cut short by Xanta. Now there's a problem. NEMIGA in close proximity of the site, and in the meantime, Lear is slipping around the back, ready to just sweep Mix under the rug and keep this game competitive. The T side still just not taking enough space. It's onto Akor's AWP this time. He does have his first, but without the bomb. Too much time at his disposal either. It's cut short. 4-7, NEMIGA right back in it.
It's back and forth, threatening to both economies. NEMIGA just enough in the pockets to tide them over to the end of the first half. Can't quite say the same for Mix though. They are in troubled water yet again financially. 2 AKs, 2 Deegs and a Tech-9. Gotta say, Akor 14 and 7. He's been having a fantastic game so far here on Mirage. Yes, only 11 rounds played. Scary stuff for the likes of NEMIGA. Probably not interested in someone having a performance like that. No life gains, please, especially when the odds and the stakes are so high. Xanta, good start, but Rigon quick to trade.
Such an important trade as well, but Rigon was not expecting Khan. Lower through underpass, AWP in hand, and multiple players staring in the direction of Synopsy, who now has to courier that bomb all the way over to the B site, where his teammates are already starting to fall. First pick taken, Volt into the site, as is Bob, with that second AWP on the final round of the half. He won't be able to land the shots that he needs. Volt gets the most of it, but Lear is right back at it. 7-5 on the half, feels respectable for Mix. NEMIGA have battled back brilliantly.
This another level, this one over here is very rare. Ridden got me skanking, had me feeling like I'm Fred Astaire. Bread was kinda short, but I was smelling like a millionaire. Claimed their opposition when we stepped in, they were running scared. Man were louding up the atmosphere. Too much chatty chatty, too much catty catty. I just lit a fatty and it came from Cali. I'm not really here. I was in the clouds, I don't ever take the stairs. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. This another level, this one over here is very rare. This another level, this one over here is very rare. I was in the corner sweating till the lights came. Man don't ever sleep, step out on this night train. Right brain, man will blow your mind like a migraine. I was busting up these spots, pulling something out my socks. Man was shuffling out of blocks, phone and vibrate. I don't need to talk to Frank, I did it my way. Never slipping, never tripping, never violate. We don't gas around here, we on a higher rate. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare.
Welcome back to Mirage, where we have just seen NEMIGA begin their comeback. 5 rounds in the half, with just one going towards Mix after the opening 6. You know, they were in a great position. Mix, pick up 6, 1-2, buckle my shoe type casting. But we're here, man. 2 rounds in it.
Yeah, 6-0 was the start of the half, as you say, for the unrepresented side. A-Court, what a half of Counter-Strike. He had 14 and 8, putting up big numbers. 123 ADR at the end of the first set of 12. But needs someone else to step up. Rigon, 3 and 10. He gets dinked up immediately by the Glock, so probably not turning to him, at least in the pistol. Volt with some good impact. Synopsy, 1 flat throw, both hitting heads. Just need that extra 10%, Harry. NEMIGA are a scary side, no matter if you're facing them with a 9-3 lead or a 9-3 disadvantage. They know how to turn every situation into gold. And that's what Mix need to be careful for. at least on the easier side for a complete mix. It is the CT, the defense, that makes
Perhaps
it have to put up.
they're not going to have had as much time to get those protocols set, but there are default ways to play, and maybe NEMIGA will be trying to abuse that as much as possible. Already 50 seconds left. Xanta has been deposited outside of apps. Sawalio is solo in Palace, and the rest getting ready to make a late lunge. No fakes, no change up. Mix should know that this is the site hit now coming in with all of the nades thrown in their direction. Still keeping boots on the ground on B. The rotation is a little bit late, but Synopsys already helps get things off to a good start. That's Xanta with his head taken clean off and looking for a little bit more as the plant comes in. Bob trying to get his hands busy, but Juan Flatro with the next. There's a horde of CT players flooding back through spawn, but Khan has taken all 4 of them. How on earth is that possible?
I was just about to be a little bit of a hater towards Khan because Risky Bob swung and Khan sat back and just let him be gutted towards CT, and then he's just pulled off an absolute blinder.
He was charging up his ult, and then he just headshots all of them instantly. I don't know. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff from Khan. Gunning everyone down towards spawn, and it's put Mix onto pistols. The lead will be voided after this round. The jiggle towards under One Flatro. Lucky to be alive. I don't know if maybe he was spotted on the mini-map or whatever, but the flashes will come after the smoke. Acorn sat underneath P2K, good for naught. Deeg in the hands of Rigon, now looking for headshots, has to connect. Doesn't find a thing. One Flatro fast flank Khan, already patiently waiting for it. Snaps back to hold the rear of the push, and now Volt left alongside Sentinel and Synopsy. And the USP really dropped to the Mac 10. Simple stuff. In the pistol, you know, it's just boots on the ground Counter-Strike for NEMIGA, right? Don't really want to do anything too out of the ordinary. Don't want to do anything too rogue against a side that could have all sorts of cards up their sleeves. You just got to play the Counter-Strike you know and love. The simple stuff will get you across the line. And so far, so good. 2 for 2 here on the attacking side.
That's the thing though, Ryan, it's not Uno. You know how many, you don't know how many cards your opponent has, sorry. And that's what we're here to find out. How deep does this mix side go? On paper, you would simply assume, okay, it's just maybe a team to play and plug this one event. The player quality they've had, of course, exuding as confidence is shown by Juan Flatro. Chasing players out of middle. It's Khan who's on the receiving end. But NEMIGA holding a very rigid default, just trying to collect as much of that information as possible. Figure out what this CT setup looks like, and in terms of the info that they have right now, it's not all too much.
Patience. I guess the saying is patience is a virtue. We'll see if NEMIGA cherish that. Nice shot in middle. That's one of those that you can't miss. Floodgates open in middle. All sorts of utility being bombed out by the NEMIGA side. But it's a pivot towards B that's going to catch this CT side off guard. Synopsy left alone. MP9, they double up towards middle. One passive on A. He's going to have to do it all here, Synopsy. Got to try and halt the push instead. It only invites the Mac 10 in for further pressure. Xanta clears out the site. I think for the 3 remaining ones, the save may be more appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, definitely so. Especially when you consider the fact that they were so far away from the site when the push came in. It was just Synopsy there, and to get any more than one with an MP9 would have been God's work. As Khan is doing exactly that. King Khan at the moment. He is put to rest by Volt as yet another of those M4s looks to hang on here. Rigon should be able to do so with the angle that he is sat on, but Bob just melts him. Under the bright light, he goes down. Now, NEMIGA have the lead. It's a one-round game, but Mix are still searching for theirs.
Given a moment to think, what do NEMIGA do next? Showing a lot of presence towards middle, especially after cracking open for some control. The lean has been a solid lean for them. Other than Mr. Wakor getting cheeky around the edge of the smoke, Xanta catching one bullet to the stomach before having to retreat. But same old for NEMIGA, I guess. You don't try and fix what's broken. It's going to fall out the axe angle. Nothing in between. The super duo of Rigon and Synopsy. Vom still with that form, easily 5-7 probably looking for damage, but yet again, it's better probably to keep that rifle in your own hands. Volt will look to exit, but it will be 9 on the board for the Russian side.
I'm liking the approach that we're getting from NEMIGA here as well. It has been fairly straightforward, but this is how you have to play against teams where there is a lot of the unknown. Slow default into a direct sight hit with strong fundamentals and good trades, good spacing. And having Volt removed from the situation means that not a single rifle will make it through into the next. It matters not for Mix, there's still money beneath this side. Enough to buy into an AWP as well, as Akor is going to bring that one back out for the CT side. But they need to start picking up the pace here a little bit because NEMIGA have not put a foot wrong so far this half. Zawalio shooting straight. Khan is collecting with his AWP. Something has to change or all of a sudden this pick for Mix could quickly be gone.
Yeah, I think we are at that turning point of this game, Harry.
And
these M4s in the AWP can't convert, it's tricky.
The purchase as well, there are not too many nades for the CT side to hold them back. So NEMIGA, another thing that they will be looking to achieve with this default is to just bleed a lot of that early utilities. You can see down to just 2 smokes, 3 flashes, 1 HE. Mix have to distribute their resources accordingly as smokes fades. Zawalio has been caught by Volt, but there is an equal response elsewhere. The B site opened up, Synopsy gone, and only one player left to hang on to this. Rigon flashed out in the open with a molly at his feet. He does retaliate, and that's exactly what Mix needed when they needed it.
And yet again, Volt kicking into action towards A. You could see he was just there to buy time, wait for his players on A to rotate back to B, and now caught in limbo, have to retake this control. Volt still playing out on the top of Palace. Back his turn. I thought Akor was holding it down for him. Instead, you're left to do it all. It's a flick attempt. A second shot missed for Akor. He'll call in the assistance of one Flatro to make sure this round doesn't go astray. It's the first on the CT side for Mix, but even then, a little scary in some parts. Good job from Volt though, holding down that A control. Nice shot from Rigon out towards Apps. And it eventually does fall into their laps. 8-9, only a 1-round gap now.
Yeah, first round of the half for Mix as well, keeping NEMIGA humble, not letting them extend that advantage any further than the 2 rounds that we had seen previous. Feet of Khan, he's going up in smoke. Volt chewing away at the NEMIGA forces on the other side as he's left out on a bit of an island in dark. Synopsy in the meantime has managed to pick up a kill in and amongst all of the madness as the numbers do look to favour the CTs. And they've got so many bodies on A right now, ready to defend it with their lives, and just like that, the round is over and it's a tied game.
Look at the map, Harry. Look how deep in Apps that X was. It was literally just past the TV room. Synopsy within the first 30 seconds of the round has found himself deep into Apps, found a kill and fallen back. They overpopulate the A site. They basically just full press the issue because they know that B is clear. There's no information in middle. Sure, No one was really pressuring it from the T side. Mix could just put all their eggs in one basket and say with confidence they knew that it was going to be A. And that's NEMIGA now calling for their second tactical timeout. Just a bit of a head scratcher, of course. Box, their coach, been there just as long as Risky Bob, well, a little bit longer. A year and 8 months he's clocked in under the NEMIGA brand. Only player that has been there longer than them is the leader of Lear, coming up to his 3-year anniversary. So there's some deep line connections within this team. And, you know, I guess the word is teammates. But you do really need to rely on your friends in this situation. Especially when, as I say, the format of this whole event is so cutthroat. You lose one game, you are out. You need to be top 8, and even then, you play a double elim, of which only one team qualifies. It's savage, and you cannot afford to fall here, otherwise there is no second chance.
Great need to kick off the round from Synopsy. One of 3 players that has upgraded to an AK. Coming into round 19, as Mix will look to be the first team to break 10. With how NEMIGA have been playing, the read from the CTs and these quick over-rotations are set up on the basis of it's only going to be one direction that the push comes in from. No fake, no kind of blindsiders. Volt goes on the aggressive and does find a 1-for-1. Bomb is heading elsewhere, but Sawalio has his sights set on A. He's opened it up for them, but NEMIGA are still heading in the B direction. Rigon does get spotted. Damage around the wall. The nade to finish it misses. And the red carpet is rolled out for the bomb to head elsewhere. That's such a frustrating turn of events when it looked like Mix were doing all the right things.
Rigon blinded. Taken down. Double digits is next to the NEMIGA name first. It's a 100-meter sprint now, basically, to the end of Mirage. Mix a little bit handicapped, starting from around behind, but still with enough money to pour back in with rifles, and even the big green back out in Akor's hands, who has been less efficient, I would say, with the weapons given to him in the second half than that of the first. Could be a big turning point there, seeing Synopsy towards bottom. Mid, out in the mouth of underpass, he has to back away into connector. That's 85 damage for it, and NEMIGA to take the scratch. HG further of an advantage. Rigon's just fell off the window peak. He is mid-air, double dinked. Risky Bob, probably one of the more unfortunate deaths he's had in this game so far. A big advantage to be handed over to the Mix side at such a pivotal point in this map.
That's the life of Risky Bob, you know. Always living life on the edge. It's Rigon that bests him there, though. Now looking at the rest of these mid-fights, Mix are just continuing to take the proactivity, knows no bounds, and maybe that's what will dig them an early grave. Xanta is the last player left, and whether he knows it or not, it is written, so it shall be so. Synopsy with the flank incoming, and that is 10-10.
Now it all is equal, right? I mean, financially, NEMIGA a little less off than the Mix side. Couple of AKs into the hands of the CT squad as well. You only need 3 out of what is the remaining 4. Seems like a lot, but I promise you, with the money being this low on both sides, it will go quickly. Can't. Volley, the HE well placed as well. Even further damage done, he's at half. Takes the fight, Synopsy disinterested in showing face and risking the early damage being voided. It's just all about NEMIGA pushing the right pressure points, forcing the utility out of Mix, and you can see with 1 minute and 20 to go, Harry, 2 smokes, 2 flashes, 1 molly. It's not really a lot, for Mix to hold on to both sides of the map. This is where they're going to have to start searching for clues.
You can see Synopsys poking away at the app smoke right now. The added benefit of having two players close to middle is that you can make a quicker rotation. Mix have been able to establish some form of control here. Volt on an off angle as the first flash flies in. AK in hand, waiting to receive NEMIGA as they are A site bound. Turns his head from the first and falls to the hands of Xanta. Akor finds his man with the AWP on the way back through, but we've hit the 30-second mark. NEMIGA are not in a comfortable position to get the plant, not until Lear has found a way to pick off Riggin through the edge of the smoke. An advantage for the half-buy as things stand. But Synopsy flooding out from Ticket. He's responsible to try and establish some kind of extra control here, but it slips through his fingers. Akor, Juan Flatro, and Akor again eventually respond, but it's Sawalio on the other side. His position in Palace should be known. Down drop to the floor, reveals the position of Juan Flatro, but he pops around the corner with the kind of swagger that you expect from Mix. They will find the lead for themselves yet again.
Well, Flatro's even showing, guys, you wouldn't believe it. I've just owned this guy. I've just swung him from bottom stairs, dinked him straight away in Palace. And NEMIGA now out of timeouts after this one. Their third and final, at least, as regulation permits. Such an advantageous spot. Bomb plant gives them a little bit of financial freedom, but you can see this T-side crippled, Harry, at least compared to what it was last. Lear on a Deeg, Xanta currently on a Deeg, Risky Bob, P250. They've gone for the hero purchase. One AK fell into the hands of Khan. It's Lear that gives it up for the sake of his teammate. The rest of them ordered to just save their money. Confident that they could win the last two and stretch this out further than the assigned 24. Let's see if they've got it in the tank, or maybe even there's an upset to be had with these pistols.
It's already started off decent enough way. NEMIGA stretching up the length of mid, but Lear pays a hefty toll. HE at his feet, down to 22, and Khan removed from his side. Juan Flatro has to be a little careful with the timing here, but as those footsteps echo the hall of connector, he knows. And the round is dealt with quite handedly in the end from Mix. That will be map point on their own map selection. There were points in time where it didn't look like a certainty for them, but this response in the final quarter of the second half has been fantastic.
Yeah, as you say, you compare the first bit of the second half to the second. It's been night and day. You know, lost the pistol, lost the first gun by. We thought Mix were in deep, deep waters here on their selection of Mirage. Instead, they found a way to turn it right around. Sometimes the hardest part is the last, Harry. Getting to 13. Sure, only a round away, but still very much in contention. 4 AKs, 1 Tech 9. A little bit of utility to last for NEMIGA, but really relying on headshots to be found and space to be given quite easily.
Synopsy has found a strong position. And the question on my mind is how many further steps does he take? Rigon already picking up one from his beloved ladder room. But 2 back from NEMIGA. Call this one into question, and Mix need a solution. It does come in the form of Synopsy. He's taken it the full 9 yards and now sat in T-spawn. Looks like he's starting to back away towards ramp. Volt in the meantime catches one in transition. This is awkward.
Yeah, they couldn't go back as well. Synopsy was deep in spawn. He's flanking A. They should know now that the bomb is on the B side of the map. NEMIGA don't have the time really to rotate. No pivot. No assistance from Xanta, low HP on short, he's not even in under, which means a late engagement will have to happen, whether or not he gets cleared by Volt here. This is huge. This is everything. Volt needs to check the angle, he does, but misses the shot. Akor's hit one with the AWP, 2 more needed. The solo ranger on this site misses again, needs to connect on Sawalio, and it's the low HP of Xanta that might just walk into the guillotine as well. A missed shot from the AWP, but 10 seconds left. Bomb retrieved, but life lost. It's 13 to 10. It's Mix with map 1.
Great map win for Mix. Their own selection, of course, coming into Mirage. The expectation was always going to be there, Ryan, that with such a puggy team, this is one of the fan favorite selections that they could go for. I think NEMIGA's read of the macro overall was pretty damn good in how they tried to approach what would typically be quite an off-the-wall style, but there was some really nice micro layered in there as well from this Mix side, trying to get proactive, set each other up with nades, make life difficult. And while it is only by the skin of their teeth in the end that they get through, I have to say they can be happy with that performance.
Definitely. Job not done just yet, though, Harry. Got to remember, we are playing BO3, so while, yes, you take your selection, it's still one hell of an uphill battle to go. Of course, it's Dust 2 next, and the NEMIGA pick, one that has been very solid for them, even at a Tier 1 level. Gathered some serious experience, beating the likes of M80, 13-2, Heroic, Lin Vision, Monty, 9 Pandas, all names checked off on that list that NEMIGA have fought and been victorious against. For the Mix side of things, however, of course, the very limited tape we do have, yes, 2 out of 3 seems like a very strong record, but you've played ESC, Tricked, and Watermelon. It's not exactly the same list of names that we reel off on the side of NEMIGA. So we'll see if experience does play the factor into the second map, Harry.
That we will. I'm off to the fridge to get a watermelon for myself. We've got a quick break coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with NEMIGA Mix in just a moment.
Ja, hajde ma gjallë, hajde se u këthy pa sharët. Pe fitojnë edhe das dyshin edhe hecëm. A jena kënej, hajde ke qati gjutë se pëllone u kry. Natën e mirë. Ma gjallë! Ngo që të sen, ngone që tonë, ngone. Dzallë të osë zemrën, ngo senin ma i ri. Unë e kom rigunin nga të zgudzojna pra me komentu, ja unë kësha bëth e bardhat bukra që i keni. Zgudzoj me komentu. Vesh për japim zemër, si po nëzirët një rënd, po du m'ja këpu dur të ja cok rigit. E do, falenderit për sa, bruda. Hajde këtë qati për Zvicrën tonë, Rigën baba, Rigën baba, Rigën baba! Del për lume se mure qafë Rigonin me nga 5 kila. Ja, se qitash këvillëm lo. Hajde djem ju dhën zemër full edhe te fitojnë adas dyshin. Edhe po dalim shesh collak pe prekim, shkrunin sët e Skënderbeu, mos po qelet busti po im të poshtë. Elektronej! 5 minuta ndas dësh jena.